Okay, official time check. We've got 3 minutes to the official start time, and Lance is in the house. And we are live for a special emergency broadcast, 3:30 p.m. start time. That's 4 minutes from now. Lance is all over the place. And so, and on a different note here, somebody said, well, you can't really wear a gold stunner if you're dressed casually, right? So I decided I'd dress casually today, and there's the gold stunner. And it looks freaking awesome. Looks awesome with this outfit, as does the faux pay. Even the faux pay works. And of course, the Bitcoin signet ring. It works. It just works. So don't listen to these pundits out there that say that you can't wear a gold stunner, a gold stunner when you're dressed casually. You can absolutely do that. And this is a Grand Seiko SBGY002 gold stunner. Okay, you can absolutely pull that off. David Williams is in the house. He could pull it off. He could wear a gold stunner when dressed casually. And the fear and greed index is not as high as it was yesterday on Bitcoin. The fear and greed index is still in extreme fear at 23. At 23. Yesterday, I think it was at like 10. Everybody was scared, literally, you know what? They were like dumping in their pants. They were so scared. But anyway, we have recovered a little bit. Let me refresh this Coinbase Pro and see if I can get a current up-to-date number. Bitcoin may be bottoming out. And the reason I say maybe is you never know with Bitcoin. Bitcoin does what it wants to do. And that's just the way it is. $42,524 as we speak. And I see people on Twitter, and I mean, I click on it, and they've been in Twitter since like 2019, right? They have not been around Bitcoin long enough to know how this whole thing works. The way this whole thing works is nobody has a freaking clue what Bitcoin's going to do week to week, month to month, even in some cases year to year. Some of us think we know what it's going to do 3, 4, 5 years down the road. We think it's going to be significantly higher. But in the short term, even upwards to a year, you could have a nasty, what they call a bear market. I don't think we've ever had a bear market in Bitcoin, because Bitcoin, if you zoom out far enough and you look at the graph, it's just a 45-degree up and to the right since its inception. It's a very consistent 45-degree up and to the right. And so these short-term pullbacks that can be aggressive, we had a 40% pullback here. It just scares the living bejesus out of people that have not been around the space for a while and realize that it's a common occurrence to have a 20, 30, 40% pullback. In the past, we've had 80% pullbacks. As the market cap gets larger, I think the pullbacks are going to be less severe. So I don't think we're going to see an 80% pullback. But a 40% pullback like we just saw, absolutely. And maybe 2 or 3 years from now, maybe the max pullback we'll see will be 30%. I think the pullbacks are going to slowly decline in severity. And I think the pumps, the drastic moves up, see, this is the other thing that people don't seem to understand, is when Bitcoin takes a move upward, it can be aggressive. It can happen quick, okay? The big run up in 2017 up to like the $20,000 high, that happened very quickly. Okay, like within a month, it went from like, $10,000, $12,000 to like $20,000. It happens quick, right? And so this is the problem with these people that think that they can outguess the market and they can time the market. They're going to miss the big run-ups, right? They're going to miss those. Now, if they, quote, sell at the top, like people that sold at 69,000, our last record high. I'm not going to say all-time high because I don't think it's going to be the all-time high. I think we're going to go higher in the future. But the last record high we had was 69,000. People that sold at that point, They're like, oh my God, I did so good. I timed the market. I did great, right? When are they going to buy back in? I mean, they might still be sitting on the sideline right now waiting for it to go lower, right? And then we might have another big run up, and they might still be on the sideline saying, well, no, I'm going to wait for a big dip. And that big dip may never come. So they might just be out and not have Bitcoin. And in the long run, that's not a good position to be in. So now, if they're smart enough, which very few people are, to actually accurately time the market, sell at 69, buy right now at 42 or whatever. Okay, great. They did great. 40%, right? They're going to pay 15% capital gains on their profit, whatever profit they made when they sold at 69. So they came out ahead, right? Theoretically, they could have come out ahead there. But very few people can time it like that. Very few people can time it like that. Kyle's in the house saying, hey, guys, Craig would rather save money on heating by wearing multiple layers and put that money towards BTC. I'll tell you about the layers. I have layers on right now. Craig Dogman was right. Shouldn't have bought BTC. Just hoard the Tiffany doll oyster perpetuals. Yeah, I wonder if they're actually selling for those ridiculous prices, or those are just ridiculous asking prices. Okay, so I've got this is a really heavy leather, like biker type vest. These snaps are actually Indian head nickels made into snaps. Okay, all right. So underneath that, I have a North Face vest, which was made in the United States of America. This leather vest, by the way, was also made in the United States of America. Then beneath this, I have a Patagonia. Let's see if I can open this. I have a Patagonia made in USA, oldie but goodie, really insulated, really nicely insulated. It is warm. So yes, I'm warm and comfy right now. It's about 60 degrees in here. It's about 60 degrees, and I'm warm and comfy. Warm and comfy here at the facility. Let's see here. Hey all, okay. Hey all, there we go. And Craig Grand Seiko has countered with their own Tiffany dial watches. Oh, geez. I don't even think they look that great. I think I mean, there's a lot of watches I would pick over that. Of course, I would pick the 002 Stunner over that Tiffany dial thing. And here's the thing. They will hype those watches up so much that people will be like, oh my God, it's so gorgeous. It looks so great, right? People feed into this hype, and they will actually change their opinion about something, right? Because all these hypesters and influencers and whatever told them that they should think this way. You need to think a certain way, right? You need to think, hey, the Rolex to have is a Daytona. It's absolutely the Daytona. That's like the creme de la creme. Now, I will say that the case shape on the Daytona is better than a super case on a sub, right? But you can get that same case shape. You can buy a Yachtmaster, and you get a much better looking watch than the Daytona. The Daytona, talk about an example of all hype. Here's a watch that nobody even wanted in the 70s and 80s. They sat in the case. Nobody would buy them, right? They were ridiculous. And you had a few people like Paul Newman that wore one because he was a race car driver. He used it to time some laps and stuff like that. But he wore it and used it for that purpose. And he even put a funky looking leather strap on it, right? That was like, talk about an ugly strap. But that's just the way all these things work. Carlos says, I was starting to be worried about Craig removing all the layers. No, I'm not going to remove them. I'm not going to remove them. I have another layer I could put on. When I walk outside, it's about 27 degrees right now outside here. When I walk outside, I put on top of this, I put my shearling, one of my really big, warm shearling coats. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Give me a second. Yeah, here I was out for a walk, and Brianna took that photo, and that's my uber warm shearling coat with a mink hat, and that's typically what I wear when I'm out walking in the uber cold. And somebody pointed out, well, you don't have gloves on. Well, that's because I have peanuts in my pants pocket, and I walk and I shell the peanuts and eat the peanuts, and so I can't do that very well with gloves on. But I do have warm gloves that I can wear if I need to. But I can handle it. I can shell the peanuts as I walk and do that. So I can put that coat over all of this, everything that I have on now. I can put that shearling over top of all of it, and I'm nice and warm. I'm nice and warm. I don't have to go to the jump pants. If I need the jump pants, that's when it's like 10 degrees or lower. I've got jump pants that are designed for people that ski, that jump out of helicopters, and they've got the straps that go up, the suspenders, and they're insulated and really warm and durable. Those are called jump pants. I've got a pair of those. That's what I actually used when I was in Russia. Let me see if I can pull that photo up with me wearing the jump pants. Moscow. Yeah, so yeah, here I am wearing the jump pants and an Air Force parka that is also very warm. That particular parka, I forget the model number of it, but it's in my clothing photos. That's the parka that I wore when I went to Russia together with the jump pants and those sorrel boots and a Russian hat. I was warm even in the extreme cold in January in Moscow. So there you go. Black, blue, green dials. Okay. All right. So let's go through these real quick. Black, blue, green dials are my favorite on the Oyster Perpetual. Tiffany dials of fugly. Okay. Craig, would you trade all your BTC for Paul Newman's Daytona, the actual Paul Newman? No. No way. I'd be getting the short end of the stick on that. No, no, no. My BTC is worth a lot more than that Daytona. What's it worth? 4 or 5 million? No, I wouldn't trade. No way. Okay, Carlos is in the house. My favorite dial an Oyster Perpetual was the off-white, but they have removed. Okay, so they're not offering that. Craig the Chipmunk. Okay. I personally like the pink dial. Okay. Craig, now that's a great outfit. Which outfit? Do tell. Excuse me. Craig, what's the biggest meal you had this past holiday season? Oh, on the outfit, by the way, with the shearling coat. Let me go back to that. This computer's not helping me that much here. Okay, with this outfit here, these pants are insulated, and they're made by I'll spell it GRAMICCI hiking pants. And that brand, they're hard to find, but mine are 100% nylon, the outer part, and they've got a polyester lining, and they're made in the United States. And those pants are very warm, and they break the wind very nicely. Made in the United States. Again, the picture is in my photo set of made in United States photos that is on Flickr, on my Flickr. All of them are in there. It's like ragu. It's in there. The biggest meal you had this past holidays? I don't even remember. I just ate typical stuff. I don't, holidays and all don't matter to me. Every day for me is the same. The only problem with holidays is sometimes businesses are closed that I might want to do business with. It's sometimes inconvenient, but I get through. I muddle through. Too bad they don't make the pink in 41. Okay. How tall am I? I'm about 5'10" and a half. If I wanted to lie, I'd say 5'11", but no, I'm about 5'10" and a half. Okay. And Carlos says, hello. Hi, Carlos, in the pool. Oh, he's by the pool. Derek in the house called you for help to keep the show. Okay. Okay. Let's see what else. We gotta catch up here. Sent 2 watches in. Okay, we'll take a look. Triforce Riches in the house. The Daytona sold for almost 18 million. It has been reported to offer significantly more now. No, my BTC will be worth, it's not worth quite that right now, close, but it will be worth a lot more than that in, let's say, 4 or 5 years. So no, that would not be a good trade on my part. I'm pretty sure Bitcoin's going to go up faster than any watch is going to go up over the next 10 years. But we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. Craig, your hair is looking very full recently. Any pointers for us guys with receding hairlines? It ain't really that full, but there is the pills. I think it's called Propecia, I think is the brand name, but there's off brands. My doctor prescribed those for me like 15 years ago. And those are the pills that you take, one every day. If you stop taking them, any benefit you had from taking those pills goes away, and all that hair will fall out that would have fallen out. Okay, so you're basically once you start taking those pills, you have to take them basically forever. And I am convinced, I'm absolutely convinced that they stopped my hair from falling out. That if you look at like pictures of me from like 15 years ago and like now, my hairline's about the same. So it kind of froze my hairline in place from that point forward. So I definitely think those pills work. And I think they're the only proven thing like that actually works. And that's the only drug I take. I'm not a pill guy, right? But I do take those. I take one every day, and they're dirt cheap now that you can get the generic version. So that's the only tip I'd have there. Hey, Craig, do you think BTC has bottomed out the most it will get, or should we wait a little longer to buy some? I have no idea, and anybody that says they have an idea are clueless. I will tell you that I'm planning on buying some more GBTC, which is basically exposure to Bitcoin, in my Roth IRA tomorrow or the next day. So I'm going to load up on just another $7,000 worth of GBTC tomorrow or the next day. I already started the deposit transfer to my Roth on Friday, so it should be there by Monday or Tuesday, and that's what I'm going to do. So yeah, I think we're good. You look like you have a high metabolism and can't gain weight. Oh, no. I can absolutely gain weight. If I'm not careful about what I eat and if I don't exercise, I will blow up like a balloon. My whole family, most people in my family are all overweight. We can put on weight just by looking at food. That's why I exercise 3 hours a day, and I'm very careful with what I eat. And as you get older, you have to exercise even more and be even more careful with what you eat because your metabolism actually slows down. So I have to be even more careful. Breed Boozer, Craig, I'm losing my hair. What do you do? Okay, there you go. I answered that, Derek. You can't end early. It's just not right. Can't end early. Nowadays, it must be doing a thorough research if you're planning to buy online. Agreed, Craig. You can't trust. Okay, Craig, which types of lentils do you prefer? I didn't know there were different types. I buy a big box of lentil beans from my local restaurant. There's a restaurant supplier, a company that supplies restaurants. You can buy like 20-pound boxes of beans. Bought a 20-pound box of lentils, 20-pound box of navy beans, black beans. And I don't know that there's any real differences. I'm not an expert on them, but that's what I do. Just buy the big box from those restaurant supply places, and then I have plenty of them. Just cooked some a couple days ago. In the wintertime, I eat them almost every day. Carlos, are you wearing the doxa for the pool? I love lentils, says Blue. He's wearing the Tudor. Oh, God. God help us. God help us. Hair pills can cause heart problems, so buyer beware. Interesting. The pills that I'm using, I didn't know that was a side effect. But so far, my heart is doing great. But okay, good to hear. Good to know there's some issues people should think about. Craig, we've seen your photos from throughout the years, and in my opinion, your chunkiest era was in the 1990s. Maybe. I haven't varied that much. My waist is generally between 32 and 33 inches. All the pants I have, all the suits I have, all that stuff. Again, I've had a lot of them since like the late 70s, early 80s, and knock on wood, they still fit. So I haven't varied that much. And Carlos ate lentils today. I mean, a potential suitor out there wants to buy Bree a Bitcoin. Now is the time. Yeah, they better buy that Bitcoin now. That's right. Buy that Bitcoin now while you can. People always assume I have a fast metabolism, but I say it is about average. I just take care of myself. Triforce Rich in the house. He works out. He's in motion, making things happen. I got to expose that stunner a little more. He's making things happen. That's what he's doing. Well, I mean, there are green, red, yellow lentils, black beans, navy beans, peanuts, etc. Maybe I should have said legumes. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what I guess the ones I get are green lentils, the ones that are in like the big box. I guess that's what those are. But again, I'm not hip. I'm not hip on all this. I do eat peanuts though that are roasted, that are from Virginia, unsalted, that I get at Costco. And people say you shouldn't eat those. I think you definitely should be careful about peanuts that are grown in like Mexico or something like that. God knows what's in the earth down there. But the ones that are grown in Virginia, I trust them. I do. I trust them. Lentils are hippie food. Okay. Lentils help with heart health. Okay, there you go. Hipster eat lentils and brown rice. Okay. Craig, did you see the new GS releases blue dials? Oh, I'm supposed to be checking the email here. Give me a second. I got to get caught up on the email. Okay, we'll take a look at this. Whoa, look at this. That's kind of nice. An Omega constellation with a beads of rice bracelet. And I don't mind the fact that the bracelet just kind of meets the spring bar there the way it does. It wouldn't be the end of the world for me. Some people would want it more integral to the case. But I kind of think this is kind of neat. Oh, it looks like it's got two bracelets. What the hell's going on here? This is strange. And I don't like that wimpy crown. I just, my gosh, that's kind of a wimpy little crown on there. But oh well. I wonder if the whole thing's 18 karat gold. Yeah, it says 18K there. Interesting. 35 mil watch, so it's a smaller watch. Interesting. I think it's interesting. I don't like the wimpy crown, but I'll have to think about that one a little bit. We'll look at a Cellini next. Okay. I'm not a fan of square cases, but that one's not hateful. It's not hateful. I think Lance has come up with some better solutions. I like kind of the shape of that case. Decent looking crown. Not hateful. Oh, deployant clasp. I like that. It says it's 21 millimeter lug width. That's pretty wide for the lug width. That's kind of interesting. What is the size of the watch? Oh, 38 millimeter? Wow. Decent size. Very close to what my stunner is. I mean, for that kind of money, I would consider something like that instead of buying some steel stunner, a steel stunner. Let's see here. Gold Omega is vulgar. Okay. I had an amazing steak at Smith and Walensky. Had a great, okay, last trip. Why are the rate hikes so important to BTC's volatility lately? I mean, who knows? I mean, people react to all kinds of things, and I really don't know that this last dump was because of that. I think it's manipulation. I think some of the whales might use that as an excuse, but anything they can do to cause panic and then, get people's Bitcoin cheap, they're going to do. Any opportunity that they have to drive down the price of Bitcoin, they're going to do. And it works. They shake the Bitcoin loose from the weak hands, and then it ends up in their hands. That's how that whole thing works. Bitcoin flows from the weak to the strong hands. That's the Omega watch Michael Corleone wore in Godfather 2 when he gave. Okay, interesting. Craig, is it normal to feel depressed, angry, worn out, and self-loathing an hour after eating a donut? Possibly. But I wouldn't eat one. I'd eat 3 or 4. I mean, if I'm going to go that way, I'm just going to like chow down. I used to love, when I was a kid, we'd go to Dunkin' Donuts, and I'd love those toasted coconut donuts they sold. And of course, the sugar raised and the cinnamon donuts. Oh my gosh, they're out of this freaking world. I think Eduardo would like that piece. I just realized that Charlie Brown is wearing a Rolex cap and Carlos's avatar. Carlos is something. Carlos is something. He's something. Yeah. Okay. So I don't know. Maybe we're done. Anybody else got any? Oh, Kyle, you asked about some new models. Do you want to send a link for me to look at? And then we can take a look together. But I don't have an assistant here to help me with links. Bree has not been feeling good. She's had her neck and back injury from the car accident has flared up again, and she actually was in the hospital not too long ago getting checked out. And she's having some issues. T-Town, thanks for describing those, Craig. And now yeah, cravings, absolutely. Wait, donuts were invented and around when you were a kid. Yeah. And at the Dunkin' Donuts in Wheaton, Maryland, they actually cooked them on site. And that was exciting stuff. That's the way they used to do it. They used to have most of the Dunkin' Donuts would actually cook them right there, right? And so, my God, you got some that were just freshly cooked. It was out of this world. Craig, can you check the email I sent you the other day? It's not easy. Let me see if I can pull it up. Let's see here. Cheetown. Here we go. Oh yeah, the Stella Day date. I got it. Give me a second here. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I did look at these after the show, and I wouldn't it wouldn't be the way I would go. Either one of them. I think they look a little bit goofy. Now these photos might not be that great photos, but no, it wouldn't be my cup of tea. But then again, I buy watches to wear and enjoy, and not because there's something funky or something weird or something that everybody else wants or any of that kind of stuff. I buy what I like and then I wear it. Um, Imagine that. Wait, we never discussed Rogaine. What is Rogaine? I don't I remember the name of it, but what does it do again? Just remind me. Triforce in the house. I'll send it now. Okay. Let's see. I'm just going through these real quick. We're near what you're describing. Yeah, no, Dunkin' Donuts is not what it is anymore. A lot of things have gone downhill the last 40 or 50 years, I have to tell you. Some things are better. A lot of things not so much. Craig, that leather gillet you're wearing is called shag gillet in my country. After the fine tobacco shag would used to roll your own cigarettes. It's mostly worn by shag smokers. Okay. All right. Put on the okay. Um, let's see. Small pocket in front used to carry shag. Okay. All right. Cool. We learn something new every day. Let's see. Do you worry about your inevitable mortality when you see celebrities from your Bride era start trying? Yeah, you think about those things. Absolutely, you think about those things. Not any kind of crave for Dunkin', but some recently made still hot Krispy Kreme. Yeah, yeah, you can still go to some of the places where they cook those. So holiday date. Okay. Colin says no audio. I hope that's just you. Rogaine is the stuff you put on your head to agree. Yeah, I doubt that works. I would doubt that works. Email sent. Yeah, okay. My dad swears McDonald's and especially KFC was way better back in the 70s. Well, yeah, they were. They were better. Have you heard of the Tiffany Blue Rolex Orchard Perpetual? It's 6 grand retail. Yeah, we talked about that earlier. It's ridiculous. Check email. I will. Sad to see Betty White go. Yes. I want Shag Gillett. Okay. Okay. All right. Let me see what I can find here on the email. Okay. SoCo collection. Why is that way off to the right? Why is that? What the hell's with their web design? The watch is literally cut off. I mean, I'm not a big fan of that case. I know a lot of people like it. I like the more rounded case like the Snowflake has, and like, of course, my watch has a stunning case. But it's okay. I mean, it's not it's better looking than a super case on a Rolex. Um, I'd have to see one in person, but I think the dial's kind of cool. How thick are these? And they come with an additional strap with a deployant. That's kind of cool. Related information. Do they have the specs here? Oh, they don't even have the spec. Where's the spec on how thick it is? Oh, here we go. Here we go. 12.5 mil thick. Yeah, it's too thick. Yeah, I would go with that new model that's 11.8 mils thick. So yeah, this would be a pass for me personally, but some people don't care that much about that. Are Hoffman subs still in business? Barely. Barely. Yeah. The gentleman who used to run it, I believe, has passed away. I haven't seen him there for a while. I haven't asked his daughter about it because there hasn't really been an appropriate time when I've been in there to talk to her about it because there's been customers around. But I haven't seen him, and my guess is that he has passed. He was literally working in there with oxygen and stuff for a while and was not doing good. And so now the daughter is still running it, but it's for sale, and I don't know how much longer that's going to be going on, unfortunately. But the subs are great. She makes the subs, and she knows how to roast the beef. So the subs are still good. KFC nowadays only has undersized chicken, poultry meat. In the past, they used regular sized chicken. Okay. I sent the other new one in as well. Okay, we'll look at that. Brent's in the house. Anyone get any new Rolexes? Only you. Would you consider buying Hoffman's? No, no, no. That's a lot of work. Even for a young person, that's a lot of work. Let me see what we got here on the email. Okay, here's the Tiffany, the Grand Seiko Tiffany editions. Okay. Not quite as Tiffany color. I think that's actually a better looking color than the Rolex Tiffany. So yeah, that one is pretty decent. Let's see what else we got here. And this is the other one from Kyle, the new GS Soko edition. USA exclusive high beat. Of course, I wouldn't want a high beat anyway. I'd rather have either the spring drive or the 9F personally. So how thick is this one? Yeah, see, this is 12.9 mils thick, even thicker. So it would be a good watch for somebody who dresses casual most of the time, but I wouldn't want to wear that under a dress cuff that thick, and it's 40 mils. So yeah, an all-arounder for somebody who dresses casual most of the time might be good. Might be good. What's the next watch you're grabbing, Craig? Don't have any on the radar screen. They're going to have to come up with something awesome for me to upgrade, because my 231 is awesome, absolutely awesome. And my 002 Stunner is absolutely awesome. So it's going to have to trump one of those. Craig, what's the best way to cook eggs? I have to admit, I fry them, and I fry them in coconut oil because it's high temp. That's the way I cook them. But you can actually cook them in the microwave. There's a bunch of how-tos of how to do that in the microwave. I just haven't tried that. And I don't eat them that often. I only eat eggs maybe once a week. I'll eat 2 or 3 eggs like once a week. I bet Subway will make an offer on Hoffman's. I doubt it. I don't think they really care about a little mom and pop place like that. Always have eggs protected while you cook. Okay. Craig, how's the timekeeping on the tooth run? Oh, it's insane. It runs about less than a second fast a month. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I never even have to bother with checking that. I just know it's going to be spot on, like pretty much all the time. This one gains about 7 to 9 seconds a month. So like every couple of months, I'll just pull the crown out and stop it for a few seconds. I can push it back in to just get it back in sync, right? I don't have to worry about the date on this, right? There's no date. So both of them are very low maintenance as far as accuracy, which I love. I'm spoiled now. I could not own, for example, a Rolex. It would drive me crazy to have a watch that's not accurate. I absolutely love the fact that I can rely on that stunner to just always be like spot on accurate. Because there's certain times like when like the radio station will say, okay, call in at 10:24 a.m. or something. And I want to rely on my watch that when I look at it and it's 10:23, I know I got a minute to call in, right? I want to know my watch is freaking accurate. I don't want wiggle room. Eggs over medium for me. Okay. As a photographer, have you ever tinkered with GoPro? I had a GoPro, and I think I have a review on my channel. I wasn't impressed with the quality, and I'm sure they've gotten better since then, but I was not impressed. I prefer omelets. Okay. Microwave eggs scare me a bit. I hear you. I haven't used a microwave in 15 years. I use one, and I think the people that are anti-microwave, I don't think there's any sound data to show that that there's really any health issues with microwaving something. I think that is made up stuff, almost as made up as global warming, but maybe not quite. Craig, do you have Dutch ancestry? I don't know. I don't think so. I think Scottish and English. Throw out the microwave, Craig. see that people some people have been like they go a little too far on some of these like way out things, right? That certain things are going to kill you and so on. And it's on both sides of the spectrum. It's the extreme liberals that are like, my God, Manhattan's going to be underwater in 2 years. And then there's the people on the other side of the spectrum that like are totally anti this or anti that for no real scientific reason, right? I mean, I don't think it's a good idea to stand right next to the microwave when it's doing its thing. Let's say you're cooking something for 5 minutes. I wouldn't stand right in front of it while it's doing that and all that. But there is no radiation being put in the food, right? There's nothing, all of the food's being heated, but there's nothing being put in the food that is damaging the food. So these conspiracy theories that there's all kinds of funky things going on if you microwave stuff, I don't think there's anything to support that. So anyway, that's how the whole thing works on that. How heavy is the case on the 231? It's not. The whole thing is pretty light. I don't know what the case weighs versus the bracelet, but what's the whole thing? 120 grams or something? I don't know, but it's light. You can Google it. You'll find out. It's nice, and this watch is nice and light on the wrist. Even though this is 18 karat gold, it's very comfortable and light on the wrist. Both of them are very, very comfortable. That's a priority for me. the the watch has to be comfortable. It absolutely has to be comfortable. Brett in the house, microwaves are fiat. Okay. I think it's what you eat is much more important than how you cook it, tell you the truth. I eat 3 eggs almost every day, cook them with olive oil and usually scrambled. Triforce rich in the house. Probably won't kill you. Probably won't kill you. If they made a 40 or 41 millimeter 231, it would be on the top of my list. Yeah, they should do that. And they should get it as thin as possible. They should put that new spring drive in it and make it as thin as possible. That would be tempting. Although my old eyes do like the size of that one. It is so freaking legible for me. And again, because of the design of the case, the design of the bracelet, and the weight, all those 3 things, it's super, super comfortable on the wrist. Craig, if you ever need a pacemaker in the future, will you choose one made by Seiko or one made by Rolex? Probably if Grand Seiko makes one, I would pick that. Sometimes I crave to make an omelet with potato chips, not flavored kind of Cape Cod ones that you have in the USA. Okay. I use avocado oil with my cooking. Olive oil has a lower smoke point and is not good when it's heated up. Okay. So let's see. Craig, would you put your gold stunner in the microwave for 30 seconds in exchange for a whole BTC? Oh my gosh, yes. Yeah, because if something happened to the gold stunner, I could buy another one for for half the price of the BTC. So yeah. And my guess is the microwave might not even hurt the 002. It might not even do anything to it. And if it did, I could send it in for servicing. So my gosh, that would be a deal. I'd do that. I want to raise a chicken for eggs. Is that a good trade for the chicken? I want to raise a chicken for the eggs. Is that a good trade? Masha had chickens and she did it for a while and it was nice having those fresh eggs, but it's work. It's a hassle. He put it in the blender for 5 hours for a BTC. Triforce rich in the house. No doubt. The waves are known to cause cancer. It causes the particles in the food to be negative. So yeah, I think that's hooey. I think that's hooey. I think that is hooey. Some of those urban legends out there are just a little bit of hooey. By the way, everything causes cancer, even sunlight. So there's how that whole thing works. Manhattan will be under water in 2 years. Baltimore will be underwater in 2 years. Yeah. I mean, these guys have been predicting, they've been predicting all this doom and gloom literally for decades. I mean, Al Gore and his cronies, he cashed in big time on all that fear mongering. But if you go back and look at his predictions, none of them have come true. And now they've gotten smart. They've started making predictions like 50 and 100 years out instead of 20 years out. Now, AOC is still making predictions like 12 years out. She hasn't learned the lesson, right? The pros like Al Gore, he's now predicting what's going to happen like 100 years out, so that way, he won't be found out because he'll be dead and gone, and all of us will be dead and gone when it turns out his predictions didn't come true, right? But in the beginning, he was making predictions like 10 and 20 years out, and none of those came true, right? And so now he's learned his lesson, and most of them have learned their lesson. And they also changed it from global warming, which isn't actually happening, to climate change now, because that way, either way, anyway, if the climate changes, then they're right? It's just like these people with predicting the price of Bitcoin. When they say that the Bitcoin could go up or it could go down, hey, they're right. It's going to do one of those two things. They've got their bases covered. I have my doubts about the microwave, but after putting my neighbor cat into it for 2 minutes, I'm more worried. Yeah, you don't want to cook your cat. Did the cat taste good? Um, I heard it tastes like chicken. Craig, would you put yourself in a human-sized microwave for 2 minutes for a BTC? I don't think so. Now, if I didn't have any BTC, I would be in panic mode right now. I might consider doing something like that. If I was a no coiner, I think I'd be in absolute panic mode about now. Because here's the thing. Here's the thing, folks. If this was the bottom, again, that's a big if. We don't know. But if this pullback that we had, this 40% pullback that we just recently had, if that is the bottom and it's up from here, the average person may never get a chance again to get a hold of a whole Bitcoin. That might be it. That might be the end of the opportunity for anybody to get a hold of a whole Bitcoin. Because, we could see in the next couple of years, we could see Bitcoin go to 6 figures and just never return below that. We could absolutely see that happen. And then how many people can come up with like 100 grand to buy a Bitcoin? Very few, right? Very few. It'll just be the millionaires and the billionaires buying Bitcoin, a whole Bitcoin. That's going to be where it's going to be. Last I heard, he was working at Wendy's. Hope he's doing better. Brett, okay. Somebody's laughing. I must have missed something. They must have asked about somebody. I didn't see it there. But anyway, the O2 is indestructible. It is extremely robust. Carlos says cancer causes cancer. That's a fact. Imagine explaining that damage to Steve. Hey, you're going to pay to get it fixed. I don't think it's under warranty. So I'm sure Grand Seiko will take your money to fix it no matter what you did to it. Craig, what you got on wrist RN? What you got on wrist RN? What does that mean? Right now. Oh, that's the 002 stunner. That's the 002 stunner. SBGY 002, absolute total, comfortable on wrist, accurate stunner. Pass on our best to Bree. Hope she fully recovers. Yes, I agree. Al Gore still has his private jet, so he's okay. And multiple homes, which he keeps heated and air conditioned, right? Even when he's not there. So it's nice to be the king. It's nice to be the king and to be able to order your subjects to do certain things. It's nice to be the king. Craig, I recommend the book Hate Inc. by Matt Taibbi. Gives a good take on the media in this country. Yeah, I don't think I need to read the book. I think we're all seeing it happen in real time. I don't think they're not hiding the ball anymore. It's right out in the open now what they're doing. Unfortunately, I think cancer is the genetic lottery, and only very poor decisions like smoking, excessive tanning, and toxic chemicals have big impacts. Most of us don't know really what causes cancer. Because my mom got breast cancer, and not breast cancer, lung cancer, and she never smoked a day in her life. Never smoked a day in her life. And she got lung cancer, and then it spread, and blah blah blah, and 6 months later she was gone. And she ate relatively healthy, not quite as healthy as me, but relatively healthy. She exercised. Now she was in her 70s, so I mean it's not like she died when she was 40, but yeah, cancer can hit, and it's very unpredictable. My dad, who didn't really take good care of himself, was overweight, didn't eat right, didn't exercise, did all the things wrong. He lived till he was 93. So go figure. Go figure. Also, that microwave egg guy had unimaginable BO, sweat, and acne. Okay, that's a good point. Al Gore has been a scammer his whole life. I think that's probably accurate. Okay. Colin, now so far I've gathered that there is no clear evidence that it does or doesn't have negative effects from this research I'm reading, but the conclusion recommends more studies need to be done. Are we talking about microwave ovens? Craig, if you were a no coiner and spent 2 minutes in the microwave, you'd come out a no lifer. Good point. Is it worth living with that if you don't have Bitcoin? Is it worth going on? You know? I mean, is it worth living life as a no coiner? Craig, would you be celebrating if BTC crashes back down to 5K? I would be buying some. I can tell you that right now. I'd be buying some. I decided not to open the microwave. I just left it with its content by my neighbor's door. I hear you. Craig, how is Heather Young, former Miss Maryland, doing? Saw you in a picture with her. Heather Young had a Miss Maryland title. She lives down in Maryland, in Montgomery County. As far as I know, she's doing great. We're Facebook friends, and I've talked to her on and off a couple of times. Very attractive young lady. We took some pictures. She helped promote Frederick.com many years ago. This is going back to like the year 2000. I think she was Miss Teen Maryland then. And very attractive young lady, very nice young lady. And yeah, she was helpful. She helped us promote the site. And I have nothing but good things to say about Heather Young. The current downfall of Bitcoin is due to the unrest in Kazakhstan, where a lot of Bitcoin is mined. Yeah, but that was a flash in the pan. That you know, the hash rate went down for like a day or two, and now it's back up to all-time highs. So again, I think that the whales will use any excuse to then go in and try to cause a panic, and so that they can get people to panic and panic sell, and so that they can snatch up some cheap Bitcoin. Triforce, people need to learn to live life and be practical. I've seen people be anal about issues like germs and pseudoscience, but seems to be allergic to healthy eating and exercise. Double standard, stupid. Good point. Twitter causes cancer. Call up Steve. Let's get him on the show. I sent him the link to join the show, just like I sent all of you, and he had the opportunity. Yes, we need an update from Steve. I'll pass it on. And the off chance Bree passes away, God forbid, you get her BTC. I don't think so. I don't think she has any succession plan for her BTC, but she should. Everybody should have that. I only worry about my telomer shortening. Okay, whatever that is. Okay. If Bree dies, who gets Craig's BTC? That's a good question. That's correct. That would be a good question. But let's not be so morbid. She's healthy. She's got some back and neck pain, but that ain't gonna kill her. Maybe Steve is not free on Sunday. Good point. I foresee that more and more women will be into watches in the foreseeable future. Okay. Who would make a better president, Al Gore or Joe Biden? Oh God. Steve Hamalian would make a better president. There you go. I think they're controlled by the same people. Here's the thing. What we need to do is we need to weaken government so much that it doesn't really matter that much who's president, that they don't have very much power, that they can't really do very much harm. That's what we need to do. We need to make government so weak that it can't really do anything. And then we're all good. And that's what Bitcoin will do, because Bitcoin will defund them. Defund them. That's what I say. They can't print all the money willy-nilly, then they can't do nefarious things. Trashy Larry would be better. Craig, did you get more lights in the background? Yes, I added more Christmas lights, and I'm going to leave them up year-round. I think we need to be Christmassy all year round now. I decided that. I made a unilateral decision. I added more lights, and I'm going to leave them up. Craig, would you be willing to be shot by non-lethal but extremely powerful bullets for BTC? If someone offered you a BTC to shoot, offered you a BTC to shoot Carlos with a non-lethal round, would you? You can't be punished. Shoot Carlos? Oh, it wouldn't hurt Carlos. Sure, I'd shoot Carlos because it would be nothing for him. He would shrug that off. I mean, my gosh. And I would hold the Bitcoin for Carlos because he doesn't want it now, but later on, he might actually want the Bitcoin. So what I would do is I would hold the Bitcoin with a strong hand for Carlos. And when he decides that he wants it, I would transfer it to him. Is being a socialist a current requirement to be Miss Maryland? Probably. Yes, probably is. That whole organization has gone totally down the tubes. There have been too long since you were last here. If you see this, okay. Neither. They're both delusional. Oh gosh. Do what George Carlin said. Take a effing chance. Okay. I'll be fine if it's not with a knife. Yeah, that's right. Craig, would you let a blind man take a shot at you with a 44 Magnum in exchange for BTC? If he is 20 yards away from me, and somebody counts 1, 2, 3, and then he shoots, yes, I would do it. Because what I would do is when the counter hits 2, I would move a step or two, like to my right, and then I'd hit the ground. I'd lay down flat on the ground. And then 20 yards away, the odds of him actually hitting me with that round is extremely small. Extremely small. So there's how that would work. Now, I would have to somehow confirm that he was blind, though, to make sure that I'm not being scammed. My view of this political system, by what George says, it's a big club and you ain't in it. Craig, that vest looks cheap. No, it's not. This is very, very good, high quality leather. If you're talking about this vest, and then the North Face one is made in the USA. This vest here is also made in the USA. Very heavy, but very soft leather. It's a good one. It'd be a good one. Very high quality stitching on it. All first rate. I like the extra light says blue. Craig, thank you for your generosity, but somehow it hurts. Okay. Kyle's in the house. Craig, what would it take for you to go back to daily shows? A new supervillain, LOL. Maybe some big organization to fund them so I can actually make money at this. That would help. Fellow would. A bunch of brand name logos stamped all over the vest make it look premium to you. Would you play Russian roulette for 10 BTC, 1 round, 6 chambers? No. Now, if I was a no coiner, I would probably do it because I'd be like desperate, right? So yeah, I'd probably take the chance. But no, I already have a significant amount of BTC, so I'm not that desperate. Craig doesn't shower. That's correct. We don't need to shower. That wastes H2O and it wastes energy. So on that note, we're going to wrap this puppy up. This has been a good one. We've solved all the world's problems again. Oh, we got another comment. Craig, are baths unacceptable for heterosexual men like Tiffany OP? Are baths unacceptable for heterosexual men like Tiffany OP's showering? I'm not sure what you mean by that, but no, showers are not necessary. Not necessary. Actually, I shower every day because I can't stand sleeping without having freshly showered. So I do shower at night before I go to bed, I have to admit. No wrapping says Triforce Rich. Colin's in the house. Would you sell your body for 1/2 BTC, male or female? No, because I don't want to risk getting diseases. Baths are acceptable for men as long as they are accompanied by a day date, a cigar, and whiskey. Oh, a bath. Yeah, I usually take a shower, but I would not be I would not have a problem with a bath also. Let's rate the various OP colors. No, 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 no. You're not going to rope me into that. Um, we considered some interesting scenarios in today's show. All right. All right, folks. Thank you very much for watching. I'm getting hungry. We were talking about food earlier, and I am hungry. So let's do this again sometime. Let's do it again. Like, comment, share, all those things. Send me an email, CraigShipp@gmail.com. My name, CraigShipp@gmail.com, if you want to be added to the notification list. I send an email out notifying people because the notifications that YouTube has suck. Thanks for watching.